Yeah. This next piece is called it's called Blacker Than Me, and it's a new piece. I'm just trying it out, but amongst us black people, if you speak and can articulate, and you go to school and you actually get good grades, somehow people may question your blackness. And this happened to me. Somebody questioned my blackness. So I wrote this poem called Blacker Than Me. Why do you think you're blacker than me? Is it because I speak the king's English structurally and grammatically correct? You assume that the kingly heritage of my ebony bloodline I somehow dishonor and reject? You look at me suspect and come to the conclusion that through assimilation I desire an infusion of Eurocentric whiteness? That my mild manners and politeness put me over the racial fence? Really? Does that make sense? Why do you think you're blacker than me? Does the size of my lips or the level of melanin content somehow makes a difference? We were all stolen from the dark continent. And Jim Crow said if you have 1 drop or 1% of black blood, to the back of the bus you were sent. Or the Lynch entertainment on the day this country celebrates being independent. So what is blackness dependent on? What's the criteria? We all had to eat in the back alley and not at the table in the cafeteria. So why are you blacker than me? Maybe it's jealousy? That we have the same heredity? We have the same starting point, but you say, damn, his level of intelligence is miles ahead of me? Haven't we both been discriminated against racially? I grew up swimming in the cesspool in the hood, soaked with oppression and dripping with poverty, yet you still think you're blacker than me? Well, they say you are what you eat, and if you cut, you bleed. I was raised on hip-hop DJ cuts, and I believe you are what you read. I was nourished on the truth. Frederick Douglass, Carver, and Du Bois, Boys in the Hood, Jet Magazine, and I supported PE when they said bring the noise. Cornel West, Toni Morrison's Tar Baby, autobiography of Malcolm X. I learned how to eat to live, and Spike Lee told me why Nola Darla needed sex. Do you know Oscar Michaud, Eric Jerome Dickey, why Rick Ross is called Freeway Ricky, how Bumpy Johnson brought the cotton to Harlem, why Langston Hughes shot to stardom in Europa, Josephine Baker, the Nicholas brothers at the Copa, Alice Walker, Man-Child in the Promised Land, The Fire Next Time, and why that 17-year-old female from Chi-Town is now known as one word, Oprah? How many blacks died in the Atlantic slave trade? You have no idea. It was 80 million. Every black person should know that, right? It's a fact. That's over 10 times the amount of people who died in the Jewish Holocaust. Your perception is pointed in the wrong direction like Stevie Wonder with the GPS. You hella lost. Why do you think you blacker than me? I may not speak like a hood resident, but my residence was ghetto from the get-go, and ever since I could recollect the remembrance of the first scene in the movie of my memory. It's been a struggle and misery, mastery over mystery, his story versus history. Blackness has been the source of my strength like Samson's locks. Knowledge is power and strong enough to break the chains of slavery off my brain. To realize we come in different shades, but blackness is all the same. All of our blood is blue when coursing through our veins, and pours out red when we suffer the racist blows of pain. And you think you're blacker than me? Surely you jest. Behind my breastplate, that thing that pumps in my chest is blacker than onyx. It's blacker than ebonics. It's blacker than Wesley Snipes in the basement of an inner city school sitting in the dark, hooked on phonics. Blacker than the darkness you're lost in regarding blacker than the darkness you're lost in regarding blackness. Open your eyes and see that the light of truth has no color. Okay, I got some extra time. Thank you for your kind applause. This poem is it's a story. It's a true story, and it's about love lost and love regained. So, and it's called Rekindle. On this path to redemption, Focus is a prerequisite to exist in the moment. Moment by moment, I resist the drug of remembrance, getting a fix from our first kiss. Your scent, a mind and mood-altering chemical. Our body chemistry explained the theory of relativity. Cheerfully, every relative close to me would smile when I spoke of you boastfully. I thought I would drown in the sound of my feet pounding the pavement, searching for righteous work and not enslavement. Then you sent a flyer flying my way. Promises of grown man's pay. With hard hat and heart pounding with pride, me swinging my hammer like John Henry. How sweet the sound. As my foundation was found in building structures, laying the framework from raising a boy to a man to stand on his own 2 feet on solid ground, building a life with you that was structurally sound. From the inception of the spark of connection, our love fanned the flames of passion, erupting into an uncontrollable blaze in the forest of our hearts, driven by the winds of emotions until fire and desire consumed every acre of our souls. Melting 2 individuals to become one flesh. I didn't plant the seed, but you were blessed with the fruitage of the belly. So I took her under my wing, 3 birds in one nest. But in the devil crept, turning me to selfish from selfless. Dropping my large shield of faith, I was defenseless to manage my powerlessness. Upon leaving the nest, my feet struck like matchsticks, consuming the nest and burning down the entire tree. How cold and cowardly. Temporary insanity caused me to compromise the man in me. In hindsight, I see you looking at me, your eyes full of tears, pleading, baby, where's your humanity? I was out of my mind when I went out of that door pursuing calamity. I remember when I chased you to our bedroom, our hearts on fire, hot from the heat, your back arched, bent over, clutching the sheets. I became deceived by the devil's deceit. He had me all over town chasing this white bitch and bent over, clutching the streets. I felt our love die that day when I was MIA. The world stood still as I withered like Bill, and you sang, ain't no sunshine when she's gone. You let me go, but like Retro, you wanted me to make a comeback. I had faith I could come back because I had already done that. I've been tortured by my bridges being burned. You learned of my whereabouts by shared friendship. A kinship with God was working through him as I trudged and trod the road to redemption. Then my eyes beheld a vision. I prayed it wasn't a mirage. Your reality was confirmed when you mentioned, hey baby, you look well. 1,000 stories to tell of hell and high water. It was evident that love couldn't hide behind anger and pride. As the paths of our separate lives crossed, we discovered love lost. I exhaled. I'm breathing again. I'm coming out of my coma. Your essence, the catalyst to my life's resurrection. 2 years of silence eclipsed in a moment. I tell myself, don't rush in. As my blood flow quickens its pace, rushing through my veins, I see hope in your face. And you're more beautiful than I remember. I also saw issues of abandonment and pain. Can trust be regained? Not to mention a little girl's pain. Sanity has returned to my brain. You returned to my life. Footprints of your soul are retained in every fiber of my being. You see my shoulders, broad and strong from carrying my own weight. My chest filled with confidence and healthy living. Dreadlocks rooted to a mind locked and loaded. Elevation up steps is my motive. Before you is a dark man shining bright like the sun, his queen basking in the glow, and like chess, as long as the king is still standing, the game isn't done. In the past, what I didn't see in me, I now see as potential. I humble myself in your presence. Every day is a gift when you are present. My life is exquisite when I sit down and revisit us. Our bond is like a phoenix rising from the ashes. The past is what the past is. The past. What we have now is so precious. So let's grasp and hold on tight with all our might. Let the friction from our hugs ignite and rekindle the flame of love.
Thank you.
Good. Take us out. Take us out. All right. This will be the last one. So if you missed it, wow, you guys just really moved. I need a drink of water. Can you guys back there, hey, hi, how are you? Can you take the line over around that way? Yeah, you in the backpack. Thank you, thank you. Hey guys, how are you? Those are my brothers and sisters, and I wanted them to see my last poem. What's your name right there in the black shirt? Yeah, you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm Tristan.
Tristan, how you doing? I'm Brian.
Nice to meet you.
Good. Okay. Enough of the frivolities. Okay. Here's one of my favorite new poems. This is my favorite one I've written in the last probably 6 months. It's about how I hate to see rappers flaunt diamonds and money influencing our young kids and thinking about the horrors African people go through that actually produce the diamonds. This is called Your Chain Hangs Low. Your chain hangs low. Your chain swings to and fro, like Lady Blues' strange fruit dangling in the wind. Ex-slaves slaving for the forbidden fruit, dangling below your chin. This fool's gold is shimmery, desirous to the eyes, leaves one fixated and mesmerized, and one bite leads to sin. Artificial light from your shine hypnotizes and blinds the sight of the seeds rising in the concrete jungle. Confused, our young are grown under a substitute for sun, their growth stunted due to the lack of mental nutrients. You gain everything from serving, while serving our young nothing but sugar and ice on top of a pair of hot brown buns. I have an internal conflict with those externally displaying conflict diamonds, extracted from the motherland's internal regions, legions of corporate capitalists financially fund governments led by greedy, tyrannical fanatics who employ the jobless and employ brutal tactics on the workforce. The cattle for their cash cow are forced to graze in a pasture of graves while the master sits back, sipping blood diamonds out of the hollowed out bones of slaves. Branded and led to the slaughter of their country as the lifeblood of their land flows out over the nation over rows of bent backs. Countless carats of sparkling ice cascading down like waterfalls into deep pockets of green, swarming with sharks, while guppies on the other side of the scene confuse and move the masses with a showy display of one's means. With the evil marketing scheme, Cecil Rhodes rose to prominence, controlling with an iron fist the export of the dark continent's inner contents. He got Sister Africa on her back, raping the land of our mother and scraping her clean. Illegitimate children of his regime are born addicted to rocks, and when the world screams this is obscene, Cecil claims he ain't the father like Michael and Billie Jean. Cecil Rhodes founded De Beers, and De Beers found that by hoarding diamonds, creating a supply and demand, the demand for their money supplies to expand were realized in a strange land. And the oddity is that land considered worthless goes from a nickel an acre to $5 per square foot, and the land becomes a valuable commodity when a digger finds a rock in the dirt, digging lower in the earth to raise the land's worth. A feeding frenzy commences on land plots as they gamble like playing slots, hoping their drilling machine is hot. Deforestation and chemical saturation leaves the land to wither and rot, and even the vultures won't touch the carcass. As the golden sun's heat scorches the backs of oppressed blacks, pressed into servitude to mine black gold that's been compressed with heat and time, dark coal transformed into white shine, and in the hood, grinding white rocks causes a black neck to shine with white rocks. Striving to shine transforms intelligent black minds with their eyes on a future so bright it shines into the spiritually deaf, dumb, and blind. They mirror their Walking Dead clientele, and how sadly in the media brightly the darkness of their vanity shines. They can't stop. They won't stop. The foundation of hip-hop they destroy, transforming B-boys into D-boys, transforming B-girls into sex toys. Prison bars make up their 16 bars. We went from Slick Rick's children's story to telling our children's stories of dope and death. American black kids with their eyes glued to the screen, imitating what is seen, dream of spitting a clean 16 around the circle of a cipher, talking about picking up fame by dropping dead bodies. Amongst the wails and screams, child soldiers of African civil wars clean M16s after spitting rounds, dropping dead bodies. Families are annihilated and childhoods are lost to forced participation in a violent genocidal holocaust. So the next time you floss, talk about how you paid the cost to be the boss, look at the lives and the limbs of African children have lost, and then tell me how much that pinky ring costs. War generals exchange weapons for raw minerals as oil-slick capitalists allow rough diamonds to slide smoothly down the Kimberley tube. A certification process that's certainly useless. It doesn't ease the atrocities, only relieves the buyer's conscience of guilt that their purchase has been financed war and human rights abuses. You can find new knocks and women to knock, but you're lost in the dark with all that shine on. Because the truth is elusive. When you turn a blind eye to an armless girl who can't wipe the tears she cries. She's raised an orphan on milk and starches as the army marches through civil war zones, abusive warlords dismember and torture third world cultures where black bodies are beaten like bongos in the Congo. It's bombs away in Zimbabwe. And you smoke bomb, slaying A1 Yola while buying hot rocks, and your money buys the bombs being dropped that leaves Angola smoking. And corrupt politicians can't leave Sierra Leone alone because this poor country is rich in precious stones. De Beers pops the sham because they successfully perpetrated the biggest sham on the world, that diamonds equal love. So whenever a man gets on one knee, or it's an anniversary, or you want to look like your favorite MC, collectively, De Beers says, cha-ching, as they dance and sing all the way to the bank. Thanks to the misconception that diamonds are precious stones. Actually, diamonds are semi-precious stones. Emeralds and rubies are actually precious stones. But you can't take any of it with you when you're gone, so why put a house around your neck when the jealous cat around the block will foreclose on it with a couple of shots? Whether in Africa or over here, chasing that rock makes the casket drop. And in closing, what pains my heart more than all the shine in your rhymes is at the core of all this pain, abuse, and death, it's still black on black crime.
Oh, Brian's a little taller than I am. That was Brian J, everybody, the Brooklyn poet, bringing it down, coming down here to the Brainwash Cafe. We do this every Monday night.